Howdy. Yes, Mountainwater, once again, which includes wide rivers, electric discharge events, groundwater, and stuff like that. So now let's take a look at that. Let's start off quickly with this unconfirmed quake near Stuttgart, Baden-Württemberg, Germany. 5 user reports. Let's have a quick look at those before we dive into the real thing. Stand am Herd, lautes Scrollen von wenigen Sekunden. Minor vibrations that lasted for about 3 seconds. So they heard some rumbling noise and some people woke up. But we go now into this region here. Here we have Liechtenstein, which is a very small country. And we have the River Rhine, which seems to be a white river. The sediments are rather white. There's some quake activity here. No one should be surprised about having water veins very close to the quakes 1 hour ago, 1.4. But here has been some bigger quakes, 3.1, 1 kilometer in depth, 121 user reports. 3.1, 18 hours ago, 1.9, 16 hours ago, but there has been, I guess, some other. Maybe not. 3.1, where we got all those user reports. All the people used this earthquake application. So that's a very interesting region. We have an undeniable connection to volcanic activity. The River Rhine and Kaiserstuhl stratovolcano, probably extinct. And there has been a hotspot on that place for many weeks now. Earthquake filter, 7 days. And in the meanwhile, while this is counting the quakes, let's check out something else, which is of course related to that. ETH Zurich, Swiss Seismological Service, earthquake country Switzerland, earthquakes in the Alps. The Swiss Seismological Service, SED, has been operating a digital network of seismic stations since 1975. The majority of the recorded earthquakes take place in the Swiss Alps, especially in Valais and Grison. Seismic activity is also particularly high in the northern foothills of the Alps, in central Switzerland and the Jura-Basel regions. Yeah, it's quite large, the region, what they are telling. Earthquakes occur at markedly different depths within the Alps and the region north of it. Earthquakes in the northern foothills and the Jura occur throughout the entire crust of the Earth, down to the moho, the boundary between the crust and the mantle, outside the Alps at a depth of about 30 kilometers. On the other hand, seismic activity underneath the Alps is limited to the upper part of the crust. Here, quakes occur to depths of 20 kilometers only, while the moho reaches a depth of more than 50 kilometers. That's an interesting picture. Yeah, somehow this didn't really work, so I dropped off somewhere. This is how they imagine it looks. Plate tectonics and stuff. Here we have this map, and they are changing all the time. And the quake activity is here at the moment. And here we have Ruhr. And I was checking out this page a bit. And the largest earthquakes in the Alps. As a result of plate collisions, strong earthquakes have occurred in the Alps and their surroundings time and time again in the past. Information from historical sources and modern earthquake catalogs show that there were at least 12 earthquakes with a magnitude 6 or more in the past 1,000 years. The last major earthquake took place in 1976 in northern Italy. 6.5, followed by 2 aftershocks with magnitudes greater than 6 within a few months. This Friuli quake claimed 989 lives and injured 2,400 people. About 45,000 were left homeless as a result. So here is this map. And here is the timeline. And I was just somehow connecting these, because not only do we have the timeline, we have also the magnitude. So it seems Villach has been almost a 7. And Villach is over here. And we are watching this one, because it turned out Churwalden. We just follow this line. Churwalden. Oh, which was obviously more than 6. And there's a paper about that. I didn't make it through yet. The earthquake in Churwalden, Switzerland on September 3rd, 1295. The location of the September 3rd, 1295 earthquake has so far been assumed to be in the Central Alps. It was assessed at an intensity 8 in the catalog MECOS 99 in MSK. This event was recently analyzed within the revision of the Earthquake Catalog of Switzerland, a project carried out by the Institute of Geophysics at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, Zurich. From 2000 to 2002, additional sources and newly interpreted information regarding observers, copies, places, names, and dating have now made it possible to more precisely locate the event at Churwalden and analyze its effects in more detail. The assessment of the intensity of 8 having been confirmed, this event is classified as one of the 7 strongest quakes in the last millennium known in Switzerland. Critically documented historic reports on earthquakes of the pre-instrumental period are important to seismic hazard assessment because parametric earthquake catalogs help us to draw conclusions about possible future earthquakes. On the one hand, annals and chronicles from the Middle Ages mention seismic events fairly often, which is astonishing if one considers the modest number of written documents produced during that era and preserved. On the other hand, the quality of the information for accurately assessing of the intensity of a single earthquake is poor. We might have to also assume that these events occurred much more often than they did in the last 400 years or something. Fluctuations. Until the High Middle Ages, observers of earthquakes in Villach in Austria, and does it continue really there? No, it didn't. Until the High Middle Ages, observers of earthquakes in Central Europe did nothing but date the event. In a few cases, only the intensity was described by a general term such as strong. The earthquake of January 3rd, 1117, occurring in Verona, is the first event that provoked general reports on damage in Central Europe, and even a definite reference to damage at Bamberg by Eppo. From the 14th century on, writing about earthquakes increased, mainly as a result of the quake in Friuli in Italy, 1348. Earlier mislocated. No, it still not continues. Where does it continue? Yeah, that's a little bit, that's probably one reason why I didn't make it much further in this article yet. But in early times it was so far. Anyway, Hurwalden. Domlesk. Let's check it out. There hasn't been quakes here in the last 7 days, obviously. But we have these quakes here. And not too far from where the quakes are. We have Chur. Let's measure it quickly. The quake location, it's about 30 kilometers. And here we have Hurwalden, where obviously occurred one of the strongest, 7th strongest earthquakes in the Alps. We have wide rivers. We have water veins. We have all kinds of things. How surprising. And also was mentioned Domlesk. There are many castles within the Alps. Some are ruins, destroyed by earthquakes. Here they are obviously digging out something which seems to be rather white. And all these water veins which come out down here from the mountains. Here we have Vaduz, where we find another mineral spring, which is rather famous. Vaduz is Xunzer. Yeah, I don't find it now. Hamilton, Bonaduz. That's another, like, there are 2 mineral springs here, which are actually brands, just by the name of the place, side by side. Side by side, the River Rhine, which is obviously white here as well. So I just somehow want to point out how they're all related to each other. Quake activity here, quake activity in the past from here, a wide river running through the whole thing. Maybe it goes here. It's very interesting. One of the strongest quakes ever, 7 strongest quakes ever occurred in the Swiss Alps, is really close to where we have now some activity. There is also an activity hotspot down here, Jamoni. Grand Juras, I have been showing this recently now, 52 minutes ago. I've been showing this now many times. The same region. It just doesn't stop. Very interesting. And of course here, this Unconfirmed, which is near Albstadt. Here's Albstadt. Water veins. Yeah, actually, now I remember. Check this out. That's a very fascinating structure here. And if you zoom in closer, you can see that there's like trees have fallen over and stuff. At least it looks like that. I couldn't find any pictures of this. Is this some kind of mud flow? Is this some kind of aquifer? Because this could be on the move, and that's the reason why the trees are on the ground, because the ground is moving. And not too far from this place, this unconfirmed quake, we have this mud flow looking thing here. Very interesting, but I think I'll leave it here. I was supposed to show some other things too, but maybe next time. Thanks.